Hi kids! For today's session, we'll be having estimating population mean when the standard deviation, the population standard deviation is known, or when n is greater than or equal to 30. So let's have some vocabulary first. Statistical inference is making conclusion or generalization about the population based on the study of samples. Point estimate is a single value that estimates the population parameter, such as the sample mean, as estimate for the population, or the sample standard deviation as estimate for the population standard deviation. Interval estimate, sometimes called the confidence interval, is a range or interval used to estimate the population parameter. It is usually in the form of a in this form where data is greater than a but less than, which tells that these estimated parameter is between two values a and b at a certain level of confidence. Okay. Now here's some important formula to use. This formula where that symbol, that notation is for the sample mean, then sigma is for the population standard deviation, small letter n is for the sample size, z sub alpha over 2 is equal to z values that we use on area of A or alpha over 2. The values of z sub alpha over 2 are listed below on the left and the right with the usual confidence level used in estimating population mean. Here are the most commonly used confidence interval and their equivalent values. So if the confidence interval is 90%, then the value of the z sub alpha over 2 is 1.64. Say then for the 95% you have 1.96, for 97 you have 2.17, for 98 you have 2.33, for 99 you have 2.52. For the formula z sub alpha over 2, it is called the margin of error. Margin of error refers to the maximum acceptable difference between the observed sample statistic and the true population parameter. A formula for sample size determination can be used whenever the population variance is known at a desired margin of error. The formula which can be used is this formula. The sample size is equal to the c sub alpha over 2 times the population standard deviation all over t, all raised to the power, where t is the margin of error and sigma is the population standard deviation. Note that if the computed value of n has a decimal part, round the value to the next full number in order to identify the sample size. Kasi diba, when we talk about sa humans, it is impossible to say that you have a sample size of 27.5. That must be a whole number. So proceed ka lang sa round number to the next whole number. Okay, let's have an example. Compute the margin of error of the 95% confidence interval estimate of the mean when standard deviation is equal to 10 and n is equal to 25. To answer, from the table kanina, 95% level, the value for the margin of error is 1.96. Thus, the margin of error is this. So, solve natin siya, 3.9. Substitute natin siya. The value for z sub alpha over 2 is 1.96. based on the table pa na. Then substitute natin yung value ng standard deviation, which is 10, divided by the square root of the sample size. The sample size is 25. So if you do that one, you will now have 1.96 times 2, that is equal to 3.9. Let's have another example. Example number 2. Compute the 98 confidence interval estimate of the mean given the following. Okay, that one, the sigma is equal to 6.4, n is equal to 40, and the mean is equal to 44. Answer, from the table, 98% level, the value for the z sub alpha over 2 is equal to 2.33. So we will just substitute that one sa formula natin. Now, take a look at. So first one, we are to compute the margin of error using the confidence interval. For number 2, compute the 98% interval using the following. Ang gagawin natin is ganito. So just substitute the given, and then you will now have this interval. Therefore, the mean is between 39.65 and 44.35. Third example, say we are estimating the mean selling price of all college textbooks, which was reported to have a standard deviation of 8 pesos. How much college textbooks must be selected as samples if you want to be 95% confident that the sample mean is within 20 pesos of the true population? To answer this one, we will use the formula, this one. This is for the sample size determination. Now, we know that at 95% confidence, you will have z sub alpha over 2 equals 1.96. So, kaya yan naging 1.96. Then, you multiply it by the value of the standard deviation, which is 80, divided by the value of the margin of error, which is 20. And then now you will have this as your answer, 61.47. But take note, in dealing with this formula, since you have a decimal sa inyong final answer, proceed, your answer should be in in whole number. So proceed ka sa round this up to the near whole number. That is 60 to the next whole number. So the answer is 62 textbook. There should be 62 college textbooks must be collected as samples to be 95% confident of the sample. Alright, so that's it for these examples, and I hope you understand the short and brief video about estimation. So thank you so much, and see you in the next videos, everyone. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.